What's going on, guys? I apologize for not getting this video out sooner. Had some things going on this week that kept that from happening, but here we are. Jedi Survivor, patch 1.5, Xbox Series X. Now, this is in quality mode, and frankly, at this point, I just think this is the way to play the game. Yeah, it's at 30 frames per second. It's not a very smooth experience, but it is a stable experience. I've had a lot of people telling me that they're playing on quality mode on PS5 and Xbox, and that they're having a good time, and I agree. It is a pretty good time. It's just not a very smooth time, but it is a stable experience. It's not constantly frame dropping as bad as performance mode. Resolution is obviously higher, not nearly as many FSR issues, which seems to be the problem with the shimmering around the character models, is just a really bad FSR implementation because it's there on PC. So we're going to switch back to performance mode and just show you in particular why this is it's just not a good implementation right now. It's not in a good state, and particularly on Kobo. For whatever reason, it's just really, really bad on Kobo in the open areas. I have a feature on my LG TV that lets me measure the frames per second, and consistently I am seeing drops below 40 frames. Now again, is this going to be noticeable to most people? Probably not. But if you're someone who typically plays on PC or appreciates high frame rates, this is going to be unacceptable to you. So if it becomes an issue where it's just unplayable, which I think in the state that it is right now, in my opinion it is on performance mode, then I would just recommend switching to quality. I did test the 1.5 patch. Let's avoid these guys really quick. I did test the 1.5 patch on PC, and I did notice a decent improvement, probably about 25% or so. My average frames went from in the 40s up into the 50s, closer to 60. However, my GPU utilization was still hovering around the 70 to 80% ballpark, with the occasional jump into the 90s. So it's still not great, but it's better than it was. It's better than it was at launch, which was frankly terrible. So PC has seen some improvement. Xbox, though, I'm not seeing much yet. I'm still seeing really bad artifacting and kind of a grainy look to Cal, especially. It seems to be really prevalent on the character models. So if I get into some shadows here, it should be clearer. Get away from the sun. But let's see. Yeah, it's still really grainy, still really pixelated, especially when there's movement. And again, from what I've learned, especially Digital Foundry's analysis, apparently that is how FSR works, is it blurs the image when there's movement. Or at least that's one of the techniques it uses. Well, it's really aggressive here, and I think that's just due to poor optimization. I think the game as a whole could run better, and so because it's running so poorly, FSR is trying to work overtime to lower the resolution and keep the performance up, and that's part of the reason why it's just not a good looking game in performance mode. So yeah, this is patch 1.5 on Xbox. Still noticing quite a few issues, but yeah, I mean, hopefully maybe in the next few days, next week or two, we'll get another update, another patch, and we'll see where we're at then. But I think this is probably going to be a few weeks, maybe even a couple months before performance mode is running really smoothly. It's just the way the game feels right now. I'd be surprised if they fix this within the next couple weeks, to be honest. I think it's going to be probably a couple months. This game just needs some serious optimization work. But, you know, we'll never know. We never know, and Respawn is a great studio. I have a lot of faith in them. I don't know why this was released early. Maybe it was pressured by EA, I don't know. But, you know, I've been making progress little by little in the story. Frankly, it's such a good game that the performance mode issues have not been enough to keep me away from it entirely, although they do sour the experience a little bit. So I have kind of made the switch, and for the most part I've been playing in quality mode, or at least just with performance mode off, whatever you want to call that. But it is a more stable experience. It's not as pretty in terms of, you know, well, I should say it's prettier, but it's not as smooth in terms of frame rate, obviously. But it is a much prettier experience, less artifacting, less shimmering around the models, and overall it just looks better. But hopefully they will patch this up pretty soon, and I'll do another update video for you guys for the Series X when that happens. But yeah, this has been my experience so far with the patch earlier this week, and for the most part, things are still pretty bad. So that's my take on it. I have had a few people tell me that they've had an improved experience on console, so I don't know why there seems to be such variability. Some people seem to notice improvement, some people don't. I don't know what's up with that. It could just be people are playing in different areas of the game, because frankly Kobo seems to be the most demanding that I've seen so far. And that's where I've done a lot of my stress testing. So anyway, that's all I've got for now, guys. If you got any questions, drop them down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And until next time, take care.